So welcome everyone. Let us know if you're here, where you're from, where you're watching from. I'm gonna pull you guys up on my Facebook. Today we're gonna be talking about something that I've been working with that I feel is really important during this time. And it's a meditation on freedom and liberation during this time of COVID-19, this global pandemic. And I don't think that there's any accidents. There's never any accidents that this is happening during the time of Passover and Easter. So I wanted to work with everyone around ways that you may be finding yourself feeling imprisoned during this time, either imprisoned in your physical location, maybe you're alone, maybe you're feeling claustrophobic with your children, imprisoned with feelings of financial imprisonment or constriction, and ways that we are here to awaken during this time and liberate ourselves and free ourselves from the imprisonment, because obviously the ultimate imprisonment is in our minds. So welcome everyone. So good to be with you guys, and really great to meditate and join together in a collective intention, a collective commitment to use this time to transform, to use this time to awaken. I don't know about you all, but I feel very invested, more committed, more dedicated than I've ever been in using this time as an awakener. I'm 100% clear that I'm not coming out of this time the same way that I went into this time. And I'm looking at any and every pockets in my own consciousness that I have allowed myself to stay imprisoned, so that I ensure that I come out of this time more awakened than ever before. This is the time in my life that I'm using as the time that shook me awake. And I don't know about you, but I think that's the great invitation during this time. It's the great opportunity during this time. It's the great gift of this time. We are sequestered. We are at home. It doesn't mean that there isn't anxiety. There isn't, and in fact, that's part of an awakening, correct? Part of an awakening is becoming sometimes painfully aware of the ways that we feel and have felt imprisoned, the ways that we have feel and have felt that we crucify ourselves, that we have been crucified, the places that we feel like we've been enslaved. So that's why it's such a perfect teaching around this time of year with Passover and Easter. So I'm just checking over here to see if everyone's on. Everybody can hear us well. Excellent. So let's all take a deep breath in together and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. And last time, let's take a deep breath in and exhale. So I want you to use this teaching in your own life. Become aware of how this teaching is impacting your own individual life, how this teaching is here as a gift for you today, for you to look at, for you to hold the mirror up, for you to reflect upon your own life. So before we move into the formal meditation, let's each and all take a moment right now to become still, observe and witness the way that you have been moving through this time so far, and begin to ask for any pockets in your consciousness, any ways in your consciousness that you have been feeling either oppressed by the mandates to be staying home, distancing. Either you have felt enslaved, you have felt victimized, you felt anxious, frustrated, overwhelmed, reactive, triggered to anything around the outer world. And just become aware of that. Maybe the ways that you have felt imprisoned don't really have as much to do with the outer world. Maybe this time of being at home is alerting you and having you become more aware of the ways that really your imprisonment, so to speak, is coming from your own mind, your own self inflicted thoughts of negativity, limitation. Maybe they are self inflicted thoughts that you have picked up from your past, from past situations, from past circumstances that you're still carrying with you. And so they came to you, maybe from your past, but now they're internalized. And so they're self inflicted, reoccurring habitual thoughts of lack, limitation, constriction, why you can't, why you don't, why you're frustrated, overwhelmed. So we want to become aware with a very gentle eye and a very gentle heart. As Jamie was saying last week when he was singing, I Won't Waste, this is a time not necessarily to be doing more, although if that's assisting you, absolutely. But it's really, to your point, it's really a time, if there ever was a time on planet Earth, and there ever was a time in your own life to learn to be gentle with yourself, don't waste one more moment in self judgment. Because if you have an intention to awaken and then you're judging yourself for anything, your own self judgment is suppressing your intention to awaken. If you set an intention to transform and then you judge yourself, your own self judgment suppresses your intention to transform. And you make your own transformational path and journey that much more dense. So, any ways that you find yourself during your day, during your week, judging yourself, that is the first inhibitor. That is the first enslavement, right? Your own self judgment. Now, yes, it may be habitual. Yes, it may be very ingrained in your consciousness as a way of life. And yet, it is, you have to really look at ourselves in the mirror and go, that self judgment is right now self inflicted. And we have the power. It might take work and it will take work. That's why transformation isn't done by the majority and masses of individuals, because transformation is uncomfortable by its very nature. Transformation means we are shifting, we are moving beyond our current formation. So transformation means you're setting an intention to move beyond your current situation, your current circumstance, and most of all, the current situations and circumstance that you find yourself immersed in your own mind. So we have to move beyond, that's what trans means, to move beyond the current formation of our physical world, our mental thoughts of lack, limitation, constriction, judgment, shame, and emotions. We have to move beyond that. And that can be very uncomfortable, because even though it's uncomfortable to judge yourself, it is sometimes more uncomfortable. It's like also during this time of those of us in the Northern Hemisphere where we're experiencing springtime, it's like a chick in an egg. Well, I guess that could be any time, a chick in an egg. The way that a chick is born is that they need to peck through the egg, the shell of the egg. And that pecking through is work. The chick started off in an egg, like we started off in a womb. And then at some point when we were ready, we had to go through a birth canal, which was uncomfortable. A chick is in a womb, so to speak, an egg where it's receiving nutrients. And at some point, the environment in which that chick is in the egg becomes toxic, because there's not enough space for the chick and that environment in which it's living. So it needs to peck through the egg, and that takes work.
So and no one else can do it for them.
And no one else can do it for you. And that's also what makes it terribly challenging, and why we're so grateful to be doing this together. Because I think that's a really, like, one of the most poignant points, right? Is that it's really challenging. That's why I'm so honored to get to be a therapist and work with people, because I can hold a space while the person is really having a challenge moving through. So it takes sometimes another person and a community. And that's why Michael Beckwith, among many other people, really notes over and over and over again that the quote, second coming, the next coming of a Messiah type awakening consciousness, is going to be community. Community is the awakener, because it is challenging to do it alone, and no one can do it for you. And so we can look to wisdom teachers to provide the wisdom, to provide the breadcrumbs, but ultimately no one can do it for us. And when we do it in community, we just make it that much easier. So we're going to move into meditation now. We're looking at the places in your own life where you are finding that you are self-inflicting judgment. You are self-inflicting your own consciousness of limitation, constriction, and we are setting an intention, both individually and collectively, to awaken into our own freedom, into our own liberation. We were born liberated. So everything that you need to feel liberated, to thrive during this time, and I know many of you have expressed that you feel guilty to really thrive during this time. Susanna Lavelle and I did an Instagram live on Friday. If you guys want to go to my Instagram, and maybe I'll post it on here. We were talking about that guilt that people are feeling to really take this time and thrive. But I'll tell you what I'm finding with each one of my individual clients is that, yes, although there is a lot to move through as far as transformation, it's also a time that has given us great relief to get to slow down and just be with each other. There's been more music in our house these past few weeks because I've gotten to hear him sing more than probably the last 6 months.
I had to lock the studio this morning because I wrote a song. I was out there singing and playing, and at 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, typically he's traveling. So now I'm getting the benefit of your online concerts. But the idea of guilt is ridiculous. It's just something that has been imposed upon us from generations before. Look to your parents, look to my parents, look to their parents. There was a mentality that said you can't thrive if someone else is suffering. That's selfish. And that is ridiculous. Because if you're on a path of awakening, the last thing you are is selfish. And the way that you can assist your neighbors, we have single parent neighbors across the street. We have a neighbor on the street next to us whose house just burned down. We have neighbors in all different situations. I have clients in all different situations. The way that I can be the most beneficial, the way that Jamie can be the most beneficial, is to be thriving. The greater my overflow, the more I have to give to others. So that's a whole different meditation that we'll do maybe Wednesday. But to learn to step into and to absolutely reject any past programming that is of limitation, that would insult your intelligence or insult my intelligence, to tell me that I'm selfish because I'm here to thrive and cherish my life, is really ridiculous. Because the more people I want to assist, the greater I need to be thriving. So I personally need only look at my relationship with my son, and I can tell you 1000% I have a different relationship with him because I take really good care of myself. And when he was little, I didn't. And I had a really different relationship with him, and I woke up. So there, you got 2 teachings in one morning. But Jamie's going to sing for us, and then we're going to move into meditation.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. 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 If you know the words, sing it with me. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. One more time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap.
We just allow the lyrics, the powerful message, the music to wash over us. That you empower yourself exactly where you are. That you are, we are being called during this time to rise up. If there was ever a time to free yourself, it's now. You're just setting your intention to free yourself, to literally see as if you've been imprisoned, to literally see a prison door opening. Literally see yourself in your own consciousness walking out free, liberated, unencumbered. Setting a strong intention that you have the power to be your own self-supporter, your own self-advocate. And if there was one way that you are being called to awaken during this time and really come out of this time transformed, awake, changed, different, even if it won't be easy, especially if it won't be easy, and see yourself seeking out the support. Maybe you get an extra session. Maybe you rewatch these videos, the meditations. Maybe you take an online course. Maybe you just stay connected to high-minded, like-minded individuals. Maybe you ask for support on this Facebook page. How is it? What is it that is calling you to stay awake and to stay connected as you wake up? then as Jamie was singing, we are the ones. You are the one you've been waiting for. And so begin to envision yourself awakening. Who are you as you are transformed? Who are you when you are awake? Who are you when you have liberated yourself? Who are you? And let that liberated part of you emerge. Feel it like a chick through an egg. Feel it breaking through your own heart, your own restrictions of your mind, the density of your consciousness. Feel yourself literally pecking yourself open and out. You're breaking out, you're breaking through. Who is it? How do you emerge? And what is being called for from you in order to ensure that? And now, as you see who you are, as you awaken, as you transform, as you break through, see how much you have to offer those around you. See how your relationship with your loved ones changes. See how you show up to those relationships. See how you show up to those relationships around you when you are free, when you are liberated, when you are in your flow, when you are taking such good care of yourself that you have a plenitude, you have an overflow. Your cup runs over, and you have more to give those around you. Not saying this is easy, not saying it's easy during this time. Just reiterate your intention and stay connected to those who also hold the same intention. And then whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. Do you want to do another song?
Yeah, I want to see if I can remember it actually.
As Jamie is singing the song, I want you to write in the chat box your high intention. What is it that you are intentionally bringing with you? What are you taking away? What are you going to implement? What is your commitment to yourself, where your own liberation, your own freedom is concerned today? It can be something small. Maybe you just won't judge yourself. Hour by hour, you'll check in. It doesn't have to be some massive. It can be something small.
You're awfully cute when you smile.
I thought he was thinking you were talking too much. Is that what you were thinking?
No, not at all. I decided not to do the other song. I'm going to work on it so I can do it another day because it's the happy birthday song. Thought I was mistakes that I'd made. Thought that I had done it wrong. I thought I'd never make a difference. Thought I wasn't worth a song. Thought I...
Can't remember it either. It was so much listening to you.
I know. Thought I was mistakes that I made. Thought that I had done it wrong. Thought I'd never make a difference. Thought I wasn't worth a song. That was the end of the verse.
I'm better than I was doing.
When I think I can't, I haven't what I think I will become. How I hold myself in reverence, where I end up I belong.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm better than I was before. Better 'cause I've walked through walls before. And I'm glad I stuck around. I'm glad I stuck around. Nice new chair. Thoughts are things I'm in control. Thoughts are things I'm in control of. Thoughts can turn my head around. Thought I'd break this to you easy. It's not harder than it sounds. When I think I can't, I haven't what I think I will become. How I hold myself in reverence. Where I end up, I belong. 'Cause I'm better than I was before. Better 'cause I've walked through walls and doors. Better 'cause I'm falling down. I'm better than before. And I'm glad I stuck around. Oh, my rationale ended all. Tempted to give up. Mindless mediocrity or judgment of my junk. Felt abandoned, it was a lie. I had to change my thoughts. An urgency grew deep and free. A kinder, sweeter love are in me. 'Cause I'm better than I was before. Better 'cause I walked through walls and doors. Better 'cause I'm falling down. I'm better than before. And I'm glad I stuck around. Better than you were before. Better 'cause you've walked through walls and doors. Better 'cause you've fallen down. You're better than before. And I'm glad you stuck around. I'm glad you stuck around.
Okay, how are you better now than when you got here 20 minutes ago? And how are you taking that with you? What are you taking with you? Some of you have already wrote in the chat, less judgment. This is an awakening for humanity. Vera's saying it's so good to hear us saying that it's not only okay to be joyful, like it's essential for us to be joyful because that's what this world needs. It is an awakening of humanity right now. And it's not to say to be inauthentic to what you're feeling. And there is, of course, a heaviness, a grieving, there's anger, there's sadness, there's all of that. And there's joy. It's not an either or. And there's joy. And there's dancing. And there's music. And there's...
You should have seen me dancing in the kitchen this morning to my new song. I just did just a really rough recording of it. But after you came in here, I was like, if my neighbor's looking from across the way, she's like, oh, okay, he's lost his cookies. But it's perfectly fine.
And I have to say, that's reminding me of something. I have a client who emailed me this morning, and we've been working on, similar type things in her sessions around this time with her kids. And she said that she took her kids for a bike ride this weekend around the park. And she was singing at the top of her lungs because she had just felt so free after her session. And she said the people that were in the park, some of them were just looking at her, but almost to the person they would look. And then a smile would break out on their face. She lives in Europe, so I don't know that all of them are... obviously, some of them didn't have masks. You can't see our smiles.
Well, that would be great to do masks with a big smile on it.
That's a great idea.
Big old smile on the mask. I love that. That's awesome.
That would be great. All right, everyone. So write in the chat box. Let me see here what you're leaving with. Vera's saying, so good to hear Suzi say that it's okay to be joyful as it assists, and amazing music.
Thank you.
Excellent. Jacqueline's saying, and she's in Ireland, so it's contagious around the world. I was just dancing. Dancing has really helped me through this time. That's so great. Hi, Lara. Let's see. Mel is saying we are all letting go of the should have, could have, would have, exactly. Joy is saying accepting my feelings as they come and recognizing that it does start with me, holding my own space and showing up for myself so that I can then connect with others. And also, like we were saying before, and Joy is so connected with us, but stay connected, book a session, take a class, watch these videos over and over again, anything to stay connected and don't feel like you're alone and have to move through your own emotions on your own. Karen is saying no taking on the problems of the world. Exactly. Ours, it begins with me. Mm-hmm. It begins with me. If each one of us just awakened in our own world, humanity would awaken as the byproduct. Excellent, excellent. Really giving my inner child the tenderness and understanding I give my own son. Okay, everybody hear that? Really giving my inner child the tenderness and understanding I give my own son. Intention until Wednesday. That's great. And her son is watching and enjoying the music. So that was very cool. Yeah, lots of people are bringing their kids or letting their kids hear the music and dancing. We've been dancing in the kitchen. Rebirth of humanity, less judgment, healing myself to help others heal. Excellent, excellent. All right, everyone. So we will see you again on Wednesday. Jamie might have a new song for us if we're lucky. Anything else you want to say in closing?
I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here. I'm going to go dance to my new song. I hope my other musicians, my other songwriting partners get it like I do, because I'm like, I hear this thing in my head. But I love what Sue says. It's the authenticity of expressing ourselves. I've written 3 songs with my songwriting partner. There's a chant that has come through this song this morning that came through. It's just like, let me create, let me be in the mode of creativity and expression. And whether they get it or not, anybody else gets it, it's not important. Like, how do I get it?
Yeah, and I think what Jamie, another thing that I want you guys to take away is that this isn't an either or. Mm-hmm. It's a both and. Yeah. We've been feeling our feelings. I've been bawling my head off at times. I'm definitely intending to break through. And, he's been here while I'm bawling my head off. My clients have been bawling their heads off. So it's not to deny that emotions are high and intense. It's to understand that that's part of the breakthrough, and that the joy and the creativity and the inspiration is also part of the breakthrough, because we don't want to go back. It's like his song, Better Than I Was Before. We don't want to go back to how we were before.
Yeah.
So.
And I've been crying too.
Yes. But we're better than we were before. We're better than we were yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everyone. Love you guys. See you on Wednesday, if not before. Bye.
Bye.